Right, cool, man.
Shall we? Are you okay now? Can we go? Can we get going?
We can go. Let's go. I'm looking forward to this.
Right, folks. Welcome back to Bru Times, episode 161, and we've got Mark from Leeds, near Leeds. How you doing, pal?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good, actually.
I was just away to say this is where you talk, Mark.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark from Leeds.
Are you sure you're in Leeds and not like Pluto? There seems to be like a 2-second delay. Or is that just your brain trying to function and process what's going on?
You're. It's funny you should say that because the kids say that I have this natural delay. I'm like I've got my own internet speed.
Your own dial-up.
Something right on as well. Yeah, because what I do is they'll say something, I'll absorb it, and then I'll play it around in my mind, and then I'll laugh. Like a few seconds later, I always do it.
Well, right, fingers crossed the internet gods play ball today, because my internet has been a little bit iffy over the past day or two. It's been quite slow on the upload. So hopefully my end holds up. Yours looks like you're back with me. It all paused there and there was a big delay.
Yeah.
Is yours all right?
Yeah. Same for you, Bruce, as well. No. It says unstable. Internet connection is unstable.
Right. That's going to be your end because I'm still here. I'm not getting that at my end. Hang on, let me have a look. No, right. I'm all good at the moment. I'm all good. Right, let's just wing it and see how we get on.
It's normally really good. Yeah, let's do that. It's normally really good.
Do you have a beverage of choice?
No, I don't actually. I failed.
What?
I'll just hold the cup up. I've just drank a coffee. I've got the kids bringing me a chocolate milk in a bit, so they're out at the moment.
Do you mind if I get stuck in?
Mate, you do it.
Because it's the only time I get to drink is podcast and tours, so it's about 70% of my month.
That's most. I would have said that's most of the time, then, isn't it?
It is at the moment. Yeah. No complaints there. So, Mark. Mark.
Good. Hello,
mate. You are a very popular man. I hate to say it, but you're a very popular man.
I don't know why.
We have.
Is it wrong of me to read the questions as well?
Well, I mean, you are a member of the clan over on Patreon. That's kind of how everybody knows you from our community, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so you have access to the questions that have been posted. The vast majority have been over on Patreon. I think there's over 30 questions, mate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's some on Instagram as well. I've noticed some on Instagram.
He's looked in it. Yeah, there is. I think there's a couple on Facebook as well. Because if we get through all the Patreon questions, I'm going to go in Instagram next, because I did Facebook with Kate, with username Kate, and we didn't get to the Instagram questions. So we'll go Instagram if we get through the 30 odd from the clan. Before we delve into all that and all the abuse that's waiting for you there, who are you and what do you do? Like, who is Mark from Leeds? How have you got to where you are?
It's your fault, isn't it? That's where I've got to where I am. It's because of you. Mark from Leeds, originally from Leeds. Don't live there now. I live in a small town called Normanton, which is
nowhere near Leeds.
Wakefield. 15 miles to be precise. And that's not as the crow flies. That's how the road flies. Started a little YouTube channel, courtesy of you, Bruce, and thank you for my intro. It was brilliant. I'm also the top box divider man. So I make the sectional dividers for top boxes. And also I've started making them things over my shoulder as well. Sticker boards.
Sticker boards.
I've created a thing that's not a thing that's now becoming a thing. So,
mate, what is it with grown men and stickers? I have never seen an appetite for something like men of our age and stickers.
Exactly. I got two stickers through the post, which from Danny Jubb, Curious Critter, and Ian Pilts, and I'm like, it could have been Christmas, was brilliant. So I've stuck them on the board.
Yeah.
And I've just done a little reel. Before I came on. So yeah, but I know them lads anyway. You know what I mean? Knock about with them lads all the time. Do off-roading and whatnot. So I've got to shout out Dave Ashpole as well, because he said, "Oh, give me a
Mate,
mention."
he's been on the phone to me all day via Instagram DMing.
Yeah, yeah. Does he send you the voice notes?
Oh yeah, loads of them.
Or does he just? Yeah,
just a quick voice
it's like
note.
a podcast in itself, isn't it?
6 hours later.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, you tight ass, Dave Ashball, get your hand in your pocket and get on Bruce's Patreon. All right.
Cheers. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
The enforcer has spoken.
As tight as I have the mascot, the little mascot has spoken.
Mate, he's only Trumpton. You know, they're on the breadline Trumpton. That's why they need 6 different jobs.
Yeah. Dave needs 6 different jobs because he's got bloody he's got very expensive hobbies like we all have, you know, with bikes and all the rest of it.
Crikey. Yeah, so come on then. How'd you get into bikes? Has it always been a thing with you, or were you like me later in life?
No. Yeah, I was younger than you. A little bit younger than you anyway. I was 24 when I passed my bike test. So basically I got married. I rode the wife's cousin's field bike around their farm, and I thought, I'm doing this. Got on the blower to my dad, said, "Dad, fancy doing your bike test?" And he said, "Yeah, let's do it." So I got married in July. I did my CBT in October, and then I did the direct access in February. We just wanted to, you know, sort of cut his teeth on the just to get familiar with him. My dad had physies when he were a lad, so he could ride up to 250. So he did a little bit of biking when he was a lad, and my granddad was a biker. So me and my dad did the bike test together, and we both passed on the same day in 2005.
Brilliant.
So
this week, we are supported by Ultimate Add-ons. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles. With a kit, you know all the blurb. I read this out every week, folks. Folks, Ultimate Add-ons, they make phone cases, action camera mounts, loads of things like that. Auxiliary battery charger, charging ports that you put into the power points in your bike. They do all this sort of stuff. Their phone cases, they're shockproof, they're waterproof, they're dustproof. They mean that you can still use the phone as a phone. You can still use the camera on your phone, everything like that. They don't get affected by any vibration from your bike. They're great bits of kit. I've been using them since about 2018. I've had them on all of my bikes. Whenever I take a bike out to do a review, it's always an Ultimate Add-ons case that is on there, and I use that teamed up with Kali Moto as my navigation when I'm riding. No issues at all with any of the cameras on any of my phones since like 2018, maybe even 2017. Great bits of kit, folks. If you head to ultimateaddons.com and you use the code TeapotOne, all one word, all written out, TeapotOne, with the number 10, TeapotOne 10, then you can get 10% off. So a huge thanks to Ultimate Add-ons for their ongoing and continued support.
Now, is your dad actually from Leeds, or does your dad hold no affinity to Leeds?
No, my dad's from Leeds, but he lives in my town now as well. So when he retired, they moved to our town, you see.
But we can't call him like MD.
Graham.
MD.
Yeah. Mark's dad from Leeds.
Mark's dad from Leeds, yeah.
Yeah, so Graham from Leeds. My mother's Carol from Leeds, so my Mark from Leeds. There's a whole dynasty of us.
So, like you said, I want to delve in a little bit deeper into. I want to delve deep into you, Mark, because
that doesn't surprise me.
Because the vast majority of the time that you're in the company of me and everybody else, we're just constantly taking the mick, aren't we? Everyone's taking the mick, but I like to find out a little bit more about the people on this podcast. So, what I know you said it was me that got you into YouTube, and that's very kind. But what made you want to do YouTube?
I liked when I started researching editing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of, when you synchronize the cameras.
Yeah.
Obviously doing the claps and then you find the audio traces and stuff like that. And I thought, I want to have a go at that. And once I got one camera, then I got 2 cameras and I thought, this is it. You know what I mean? And I just went from there. Obviously, I'm mad about bikes. Everything is bikes. And I do the off-roading as well. So it's always been about bikes. I've always spent my money on bikes. I've had nice cars in the past, but bikes is the main thing that I sold a good car to buy a second bike.
Did you?
So yeah, I did. So yeah, it's always since 2005, it's always been about bikes.
So you're saying there about syncing up. Like anyone that's not aware of this, on my vids in particular, you'll hear me go helmet cam, cockpit cam, sync them up, 1, 2, 3, bang, and then I slam my visor shut, and that's because the microphone in my helmet picks up that slam of the lid, so you get a peak in the audio, and then the camera that's looking at me, well, you get a visual trigger there because you can go through the frames and you can see when that visor actually bang, it comes down. And basically, you mark that point on the camera that's looking at you when the visor comes down, and then you mark the audio peak in the helmet mic, and that allows you to sync cameras up. And you get people that clap, sync them up, 1, 2, 3. They do all that sort of stuff, and that's what it's all about. It's just syncing up audio peaks and visual triggers, all that sort of stuff. And you can do it via things like, when you're riding along and say a big red lorry comes by, well, you can sync it up kind of via that as well. You can sync it up by eye, looking for that particular object, that house, that tree, whatever it is, in both cameras, or 3, 4, 5 different cameras, however many you've got. So that's what that's all about. So it was that sort of thing that appealed to you, the actual mechanics of it.
Yeah, basically just to create,
weird.
Just creating some. Yeah. I just got into the whole editing side of things. So I've tailed off a little bit because I've been so busy with work and my dividers. That's taking it up another, and that pays. But just pay. So that's the editing's taken the back seat. But now I've got a gaggle of cameras, and I've got a brilliant MacBook, which I've just invested in as well. It's making the workflow so much easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, you sort of find your own little quirks of how you sync the cameras up and stuff like that. I've starting the forward-facing camera and then my chin camera, so I can see when I start the camera. So and I always do it that way around.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Which my last video that I did, I went off to the lakes with Paul Webb. So that's the first time. I dabbled a little bit before with 2 cameras, but my PC wasn't up to the job. It was more frustrating trying to work it. So I thought to myself, I'll stick with 1 camera. So I did for a long time. Because I bought one of your cameras, if you remember. I bought your Hero 7 a while back.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, a couple of years ago now. Still working. It's
Mate,
it's really good.
I sold you a Hero 7. Did I?
Yeah, I've got it.
Mate, I'm so sorry. Why didn't I get? I must have been on very tough times there. Why didn't I just give you the Hero 7?
It doesn't really matter. You're almost giving me it for the price.
I'm a little bit embarrassed. Can't believe I actually sold you. Why didn't I just give you it? Look, sorry about that, mate.
I wanted your lone ride. I wanted your lone rider panniers, but you give them to somebody else, which is unnamed. You know what I mean? So
I had given them
panniers,
away.
But you didn't love me enough for them.
I almost came unstuck with that actually, because later on down the line, Lone Rider changed something, and I basically was like, because it meant I'd have to go back to the previous pannier set, the one that I'd actually given away. So I was like, could I? In fact, Lone Rider, I think, had said, well, you could just use the old panniers that you used to have there. And I was like, confession time, I've given them away.
We're also supported by the Influencer Store. The Influencer Store helps you build your brand, big or small, providing you with a solution and apparel. We help you to increase your fan base while supporting you with starting your own influencer clothing line with nothing more than just an idea or design, and there are no hidden costs. For more info, come check us out at theinfluencerstore.co.uk or drop us an email at online@influencerstore.co.uk for more information. Now, the Influencer Store, they do all my merch over at TeapotOne and for Bru Time. So if you head to TeapotOne.com or theinfluencerstore.co.uk, go to the TeapotOne section. If you buy any of my merch, you're helping to support the channel and the podcast. So a huge thank you from me to you in advance. And a big thanks to the Influencer Store for their ongoing support. Now, a big shout out to all of you, everybody who's listening or watching the podcast. When you like the vids, when you share, if you comment, if you leave a rating on the audio podcast, either on Spotify or on Apple Podcast or whatever platform you're listening to, wherever it is, if you rate the podcast, if you share it with people, you really do help to build the audience, to get it picked up by algorithms and get it promoted out there. So a huge thank you from me. You've helped build this podcast to one of the top 5 motorcycle podcasts out there. And those of you over in the clan on Patreon, so it's patreon.com/TeapotOne, you are a special, special bunch of people. I could not do this full time without your help. So a huge, huge heartfelt thank you from me. If you fancy checking that out, folks, if you fancy being part of the clan and coming on some of the weekend rides that we do, then head to patreon.com/TeapotOne and see if there's anything that takes your fancy. Let's get back to the podcast.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. Folks, slight technical issues with the old Tinterweb, but I think we're sorted. Did you switch it off and switch it back on again?
Yeah. I didn't get angry with it neither. I just took it with a calm head.
Another 50p in the meter.
I don't. Yeah. Well, we are Northern, aren't we? So we do it at 50 pence a time. You know what I mean?
I bet you've got a 50p wrapped in sellotape that you put in, turn a handle, pull it back out. And
then what I do is, the spinning round thing. We weight that down to make it run slower.
Obviously, it has to be done. Mate, I can't remember what we were talking about.
I've got my chocolate milk as well.
I've got my chocolate milk as well. Well, I got a bit of slange. Yours to your help.
Yeah. You too. It was on about Lone Rider panniers. It was on about you're going to send me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I sold you a GoPro, mate. Did I know you particularly well? Why would I sell you a GoPro? I feel really cheap about doing that. I'm sorry.
Oh, shut up, man. It's fine. It's fine.
Do you want a 10 or 11? I can send you a 10 or 11.
Does anybody want a 10 or 11?
I've got the blooming new 13 sat here. I've not even opened the box yet. I've got that to try. But just as I bought that GoPro 13, the new DJI Action 5 came out. So I ended up buying that, and well, we'll see. I'm off to
own all these companies now. You must own all cameras you've got. You must own them.
No. Like I don't know. I don't want to sound like a wank, but sometimes you get approached by companies and they want to give you bits of kit. Well, the only one that's done that to me is Insta360. They gave me the Ace Pros and the X4 to give a bash. But GoPro, I've never had anything from GoPro, and DJI. I just made a contact with them today, actually, thanks to John Milbank at Bennett's. He put me in touch with DJI. But I've already bought all the stuff. I've bought all that sort of stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know if companies are reaching out to you as yet. If they're not, they will do as things grow. But I like to be a little bit independent. Like you don't want to be in the pocket of people. Obviously, these days it saves you a good £400 or £500 if someone sends you a camera. But to the same extent, I don't want to kowtow to them. I don't want to be beholden to a company, time scales and can you cover this and can you cover that and can you try not to focus on this part. I'm not into any of that. I'd rather just buy it and use it for however long I want to use it. And then once I'm comfortable and I think I know that bit of kit and I've used it enough, then I'll produce my content.
Yeah, I totally understand that, but I'm a bit of a tart at the same time, and I'd be like, yes, bring it on, I love it all.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is the novelty is fantastic. When companies do get in touch and I would like to send you this. Or even now to this day, sometimes there's a bit of kit that you really, really want, and it might be fairly exy, like drones and things like that are bloody expensive.
Yeah.
And they're not too bad now, but they used to be, £1,500 for a DJI Mavic back in the day. And swing that lamp. So obviously if a company gets in touch and say, oh, we want to give you this bit of kit, and you're like, Christ, that's going to save me a fortune. Okay. But
I got a very good price on the Rhino Watt bag from Mad for Bikes. And I thought all my Christmases had come at once, and I got a good price. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I thought, brilliant. But I'm in the big time now. I'm still spending my own money, but I'm in the big time.
But
they're great at Mad for Bikes. So
I've always been brought up, integrity is non-negotiable, and that, believe it or not, that was a saying in the old bill in the Met Police when I joined. Integrity is non-negotiable, and I like that because that's kind of how I like to live my life. You know that you've got to have your morals and your values, and you've got to stand by them, and sort of that's the measure of you, isn't it? But yeah, sometimes you're like, oh Christ, that could save me a fortune. That. But again, you got box clever, I think, with brand deals and things like that. Where even when they start coming your way as a creator, I'd just say box clever. Don't align yourself with the devil too much, if that makes sense. As soon as I always say this, as soon as someone thinks you're full of shit, that's it. It's gone.
Yeah. But you could always say, right, I'll give this 12 months, like Insta, for example. I'll give them a good crack at it. You know what I mean? It's like that time when you said to me, I don't know if you want to edit this one out, but when you said Klein offered you, you know what I mean, head to foot, and you just bought your rucker. And I was going, do it. Why didn't you do it? You know what I mean? 'Cause you know how much of a tart I am for Klein. You know what I mean? I've got loads of the gear, and I swear by it. Absolutely swear by it. But yeah, I'd be like a kid at Christmas, mate.
But again, like Insta, I've done it. Insta approached me about having like they call it an exclusivity deal, but I don't want that. I don't want to be tied to any one particular brand or manufacturer. I mean, saying manufacturer, obviously I'm a GS fanboy for now. I'll say that for now. But I like the option to be able to try different stuff out. And if, like I said to Insta, at the moment, I think the Ace Pro is the best camera for what I need an action camera to do. But if I'm
just going to ask you that. I'm just going to ask you that, what you thought of the Ace Pro.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, out of the cameras that were available up until about a month ago, I would have happily laid my reputation with Ace Pro and said these are the best overall motovlog cameras available at the moment for what I need. Like I couldn't use the wireless mic system, the DJI wireless mic system, because I record the comms chat as well, which means
you can do that. You can do that with these.
You can now, yes.
But you couldn't you before?
No,
right, okay.
No,
because I've just set it up in my helmet, which I've come up with a plan. So basically, what I'm going to do is, like we took all the wires into the helmet and that. Yeah. Obviously, I had some externally and heat shrunk them and cable tied them to the helmet with sticky pads and whatnot. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just run a lanyard. So basically, I'm just going to run a wire down into my jacket, and then the mic receiver is going to go into my jacket pocket. Because traditionally, I used to carry a power bank like that, so I had a cable anyway. So it's just a a light cable that's gonna be hidden into my. Obviously, when you take the helmet off and you've got like a trailing cable, but it's what it is. You've got to compromise somewhere down the line, haven't you?
Yeah, but I don't think you need to compromise anymore. That's what I'm saying. Now, from what I'm understanding, I've not tested it yet. With this Action 5, it has the ability to have 2 separate audio sources coming into the camera. So that may mean you have to have 2 separate wireless mics in your lid,
right.
One plugged into the output from the comms, one plugged into the output from the lav mic. I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Right.
And then I also have another little idea that might get round it. I'm not entirely sure yet. Again, I need to test all this and just see.
Yeah.
But let
me know how you get on with it then.
I will do.
Yeah, because obviously I've followed you with the all the cables and whatnot, and a lot of people I know that have as well.
Yeah,
I know Simo does. I don't know. I know Peaky Biker. He uses the same system, but I don't know whether he saw it from you first or whatever. But
I saw it from somebody else. There was I think it was a Belgian couple. There was a lassie, a lady. She did a video on it years ago, about 3, 4, 5 years ago. She did a vid on it, and that's where I picked it up from her. I tweaked it a little bit for my setup, but yeah, I mean, I think it adds something different to the vids, doesn't it? When you can actually hear the conversation from other people. Because before that, I'd always have to have, say, you and I went for a ride, then you'd need to have a camera with a mic in it, and then I'd have a camera with a mic, and then afterwards I'd get, your footage, Simo's footage, Pete English's, Juddy's. You'd get everybody's footage, and then you'd have to sync all of that together, and it was just a bloody nightmare. Whereas if you can just do it via the comms, great. It's not as good quality audio wise, but
no, but
YouTube, it's fine.
It's an acceptable dimension, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it is anyway.
Yeah.
I think I found as well is that having that attenuator cable maybe just brings the volume a little bit down. I might just do a bit of practice and with it out and see if it's too hot. Then obviously I'll revert back. But I'm on almost max with DaVinci. I'm on almost max volume through the comms. I don't know if you are with Final Cut.
Well, do you know what I add? We're going to get technical here, folks. Sorry. We'll get into the piss taking stuff shortly. Don't worry. But I add filters, and I add a compressor, and then oh crikey, I've forgotten what you call it. But it balances out audio. So I add the compressor to boost all my audio. So if I look and I see the quietest bit of dialogue is say -18, or sometimes it can be like -44 decibels. It can be inaudible, initially. You add the compressor and set your, this is saying connection is unstable. Hopefully you're still there. Can you hear me, Mark? You look a bit.
I am still here, mate. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Right. So the way I do it is I look on my sort of audio meters, and I look for the quietest level when I can actually hear somebody talking. And then that's my sort of minimum. That's the level that I set my compressor to. So let's just say it's -36 decibels. I can see a little bit of dialogue going down to -36. Then on the compressor, I'll set that as its sort of in and out point. I'll set that at -36, and then I'll amplify that by say 3 or 4 times. So that boosts everything above -36. It'll boost everything by 3 or 4 times. Problem with that is that you'll then end up with quite hot audio. Sometimes it might be peaking in places. So you then add this other filter, and what it does is it sort of balances everything off. So it sort of creams off the peaking stuff. So you end up with much more. They call it normalizing. There's a way better way of normalizing audio if you use something like Premiere Pro, because you can use Adobe Audition, which is a proper audio bit of software, professional bit of software. So if you can normalize audio through that does a much better job. But Final Cut doesn't have that normalizing function as yet. You have to do it via these different filters. So that's what I do, and it boosts everything. What you're saying about removing the attenuator cable, again, I've tried that, because it does, when you use the attenuator, sometimes the audio is really, really quiet. But the problem is when you take the attenuator out, audio from everybody's comms going into a camera is all at different levels anyway. So some of it can be really, really hot. It can be really loud. Yeah. So all you get is, just distorted audio. And if it's coming in at source distorted, there's no way you're ever going to recover that. It's always way better to have quiet audio and boost it in post, because you just, if it's already peaking, you can't do anything with it. It's like with if you know your photography, it's like if you have an overexposed image, and say it's just all white, it's all blown out, or it's really dark. You can't do anything with that in post. If it's already peaked, you can't do anything. And it's like that.
Yeah, I noticed that on the when I was at the last video that I did. I was at the Tan Hill, and I was doing a bit on the phone, and then I looked at it back when I got home, and I thought, it's just a whiteout. Yeah, it's just a whiteout behind me, and I thought, right, I'll try and mess about with bringing it down or up or whatever, and it didn't work. But some of the stuff, on with the camera where it was a little bit dark, I could change the gamma on it, and then it lifted it up a little bit. But it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing.
Have you heard about log? Do you know what log profile is?
No.
Right. So log, if you're taking pictures or if you're filming anything, better quality cameras your modern phones, they all have the ability to record in log. And what that is, it's a much flatter image, so it won't be like deep and rich in colors, and you'll have, it's almost like it's misty. It's like someone's just put like a light grey matte finish over it almost.
Right.
But what it's doing when you record in log is it's saving all the basic core data. There's so much more information there. So in post, you can then color grade and color match things and color balance, and you can do so much more with it. It's like in audio. Have you heard of like 48-bit audio or 36-bit audio or this sort of stuff? Have you heard of that?
Yeah. In the basic term,
So,
in the basic term, yeah.
The professional YouTubers, not people like me. I mean, like professional folk like Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat and people like that. When they film, they're going to film in log because it gives them total control of what the finished image will actually look like. So,
but they have to do a lot more work with that image to get it up, though, don't they? We're shooting and using, aren't we? In simple terms, that's what we're doing, aren't we?
Yeah. We're gonzo filming. We're guerrilla filming, aren't we? We just pick the phone up, film the camera, film both. And what you see is pretty much, what you see on the camera is pretty much what you get as an end user, isn't it? Yeah. Once you know what you're doing, and I don't, once you know what you're doing, filming in log isn't that much more of a hassle because it does allow you to match shots so much easier. You can, when you have, the way we do, the way we edit, we use jump cuts, don't we? So like, it's not one full progressive thing. It's chopped up into lots of bits. Well, if the lighting values change, say you go inside or the clouds come in or the clouds go away, then you get different lighting values, which means the colors look all different, the shadows look all different. In log, it's so much easier to match all of that up. So it can, just for continuity, the end result is much more professional, but it is a little bit more work. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it, yeah.
Right, now we've sent most people to sleep and most people have turned off. Shall we get into the abuse?
Let's do it. I'm looking forward to it.
Right, there are a load of questions. How long have you got, pal? I should have asked this at the start.
I've got all night.
Right, I'll take you up on
that. Let's try and do 5 hour.
Jesus Christ. Okay, first off, we'll go to the clan over on Patreon, as always, patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one, Rebecca Christie. Hey both, how you doing, Rebecca? Thanks for both your efforts in helping us non-creators have endless things to watch. Question 1 of 2. To you both, who's been your most important role model? Ooh. Have you looked at these questions? You have, haven't you?
I haven't looked at Rebecca's, no. I haven't.
Why is that? Why haven't you looked at Rebecca's if you've looked at other people's?
Because I stopped looking. I've been busy today at work. And I stopped looking as well.
I always try not to look through the questions, so I get they're new to me as well. Right, role model.
That's easy, really easy. My dad. Straight up.
That's exactly what not your dad. I was going to say my dad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Straight up. 100%. What
is it about your dad then?
Finest human being I know. He's just a good man. He's just a good, honest, hard-working man. What I mean? Now he's retired, but yeah, he's just a great guy. We're very alike. We get along. You know what I mean? We do like a lot of the same things: cars, bikes, tinkering in the garage, all that stuff. I've been throwing spanners around with my dad since our 5-6 year old. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's just a good bloke, just a great guy.
Have you always thought that?
Always.
God. The reason I ask is that's exactly what my answer was going to be. My dad, I was going to say, but that's not always been the case. I think as I've got older, and I would definitely say, well, actually, when it changed for me is when I became a dad. And I became a dad quite young, 21, and that definitely did. I did start seeing a different side to my dad. Then at that point, I remember thinking, "Holy, Jesus, this is what he's gone through and he's felt and had to put up with. And then I started looking and thinking, Christ, my dad always worked away. Growing up, my dad was in the oil, so he was either away offshore in the North Sea, or he was out in the Middle East, he's in Russia, he was in Norway, he was all over the world with the oil. So he was away a lot. And then when he came home, it was like I could see how annoyed and frustrated my mum was that she basically had to run the ship when Dad wasn't there. And then when Dad came home, he had to take on the traditional role of, he's the head of the family and this is what we do. And it was, and I could just see that as I got older and became a dad, and when I moved to London, I became like, not the weekend dad, but, I was being a dad to my son from afar. And, I was like, Jesus Christ, my dad must have gone through all these emotions and wondering what he was up to. Yeah. So I started to get much more of an appreciation for him as a person and what he'd done.
Yeah. Yeah, we've always had a good family. We had good family upbringing, and my mum and dad's been married over 40 years.
Wow.
Basically, my dad's a school caretaker by his trade. You know what I mean? He spent 40 years being a school caretaker in a primary school, 40 years in the same job, and then he just recently retired. And he were home for dinner every night. We went on family holidays. We did the whole 9 yards. I mean, it was great. I had a beautiful childhood. You know what I mean? It's and it's in both my parents are just meant. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're just great people. Obviously, they moved that road from us, so I must be a good son as well. You know what I mean?
Obviously, modest as well.
Yeah, they packed it all up and moved to us. You know what I mean? I said to my mum and dad, I want you close by me. You know what I mean? And they bought a house down the road. So yeah,
that's awesome. That's cool. Question 2: mushy peas or curry sauce?
Oh, actually both, depending on the mood. But
you can only have one.
Mushy peas then. Mushy peas.
Are mushy peas a northern thing?
I don't know. There might be.
Do you know? Because I'd heard of mushy peas, but we didn't do it like back home in the northeast of Scotland. We didn't do. I don't remember ever doing mushy peas. And then when I moved to Glasgow, it was chips and curry sauce.
Yeah,
it was never chips and mushy peas. I don't remember that being a thing in like the 90s when I was there. But my missus, she's from like Retford, North Nottinghamshire. She's all over mushy peas. She'll have mushy peas with everything. She'd put it on her toast in the morning for brekkie if she could get away with it.
Yeah, I think it's a limited. It goes on the plate in a limited capacity, but it does fit with fish and chips.
Yeah, I find myself going for mushy peas now. Oh God,
or bonfire night when pork pie and mushy peas. That's it. Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, okay, might have to try that. Cheers for that, Rebecca. Yeah. Next one, I'm going to try and fire through these as quick as we possibly can, whilst also delving into each question mark, because there's a lot. Chris in Dubai. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm going to skip over the whole anal debate here because it's not really funny, except it really is. Yes, it is. Question 1 to both of you. Is it just me, or does it seem everybody wants in on making videos these days? Do you guys think about changing format with time, or just doing stuff you like to do? Oh, well, what are your thoughts on this as a relatively new creator?
Yeah. I'm just going to do what I do. If people buy into my content, great. If they don't, then they don't. But basically, it's me enjoying my motorbike with my friends. Yeah. That's all it is. It's that's in a nutshell. You know what I mean? I'm not going to change and do anything different. I don't think I'd film anything if I had to change to do anything else.
So is there nothing else that appeals to you? The reason I'm saying is that I really like the techie side of it. I like the kit and the gizmos, and I like the editing side, the physical editing side of it, how you do it. That's kind of I've already got a few bits that haven't come out yet, and I need to get all the tours edited first. But, you know, I am slowly going to be introducing that sort of content to the channel, because that's really what I enjoy, is like the actual hit reviews and the editing and tutorial type stuff. You know, that's what I really like doing.
Yeah. I did like an installation of a screen from Adventure Spec when I had my CRF and stuff like that. But I watched that back a few weeks back, and I thought, oh, that wasn't bad. That you know, I thought to myself, it's not bad. That it's quite good.
It's almost like you know what you're doing, almost.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, it took hours to do that though.
Oh mate,
it took absolutely hours. And I did it all off my phone as well. I didn't have a GoPro at the time, I don't think. Yeah. Or did I? I can't remember. Anyway, move the camera. Didn't have a tripod. I'm lashing phone up on the vacuum cleaner and taping it on. And I had this grip mount thing, but I didn't have a tripod at all. I don't know actually. Now Chris has mentioned it. It might be something that I might do in the future. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe more installation of parts or something like that. I do actually. I do like your I do like your tech reviews, and I do like what you create as regards all your content. As you know, I've got a new gadget, and here you go. You know what I mean, with how you voice it over and explain. It's cool. It's good. Yeah, do more of that.
Well, I've kind of nicked a lot of that from. There's a few other sort of YouTubers that I watch, not in the bike sector. There's a Turkish chap called iPhondu. I love his techie reviews, and there's another guy called Potato Jet, and I really like their channels. I really like how they do kit reviews and all that sort of stuff, you know, and I blatantly nicked quite a lot of bits, like the unboxing type stuff. That's all nicked from iPhondu. And if I go, but is it any good? That's exactly what he says. That's his tagline. So, you know, I've nicked all that from him just to sort of develop how I do it, you know, like I think, what do they say? You know, when you copy somebody, it's the best form of flattery. What's the actual saying?
Imitation.
Imitation. Yeah. And
I do say that as well. I think I might have said that on the last podcast when I was with you.
But it's true though, isn't it? And I find it like, if I like a style, how somebody does something, then I'll just try and do whatever I'm doing in that style, and then you naturally develop your own way from it, don't you? You find what ways you're comfortable saying things or filming things or how you edit. You just fall into I find you just fall into your own style from that.
But obviously I do imitate you quite often as well, you know what I mean, and drop a cheeky
we're like brothers,
reel
pretty much, you know.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You're like an old rough-looking Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm like a buff-looking young Danny DeVito.
I wish I had your mirror. I tell you, I wish I had your mirror.
Absolutely buffer than you. When you won't think you're 3 years older than me.
I was just about to say, how old are you?
I'm 45. I've just gone 45 at end of September.
An easy life you must have had. Jesus.
I know, yeah. I tell you what, I did do a paper round as well. I did the Leeds Weekly News, and there was about 500 of them to deliver.
Must have been in the Netherlands then. Jeez, there was no hills that you went up.
Flat.
Yeah, easy life.
No.
Going back to what Chris said here, it seems like everybody wants in on making videos. Yeah, I mean they do. That's the power of social media, isn't it? Everyone is surrounded by it now, isn't it? And I think people look and just go, well, that's easy. I want some of that. So you just pick your phone up and you can do it, can't you? But I don't think people appreciate how much work is involved. Genuinely, you know, like you get these odd freaks that put one video up and they just explode and they do fantastically well, but none of them last. They don't last.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. Do you know Michael Heaton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know Michael Heaton. We went off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He's had some like mega views on his short reels. You know,
he does loads of them.
Hundreds of thousands. You know, he's got that 360, and he's just churning them out. They're really good as well. You know, like the set one in the Ford where his mate was going through the Ford and then he binned it.
Fell.
Hundreds of thousands of views on that, you know, and I think he did sell that. He did sell that to a company. That clip.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not a lot of money, and we're not talking massive money. But I think he was telling me you get £1 per million views, something like that. He was telling me £1.
It's daft. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
But I've started chucking short reels out, you know, short clips because I quite like. I saw some of the other day. There was like, you know, it was one of my. It's going to be on my video. Well, it's just a front-facing camera, and I saw like the road snake in behind. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. That, so I thought I threw it on. It's got some views, about 500 views, and then I edited one with Sam Vincent. I took like a conversation out of context. And then I said, "Oh, Sam Vincent wants to buy a 1300 GSA." So it's on one of my reels, you know what I mean? And he just messaged me going, "I've seen that, you knob." Like that's what he said. You know, it's like. So
this is the thing. It's all about short form content at the moment. You know, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever other. Insert your platform here, even YouTube. It's all about shorts at the moment, short form content, and you know. Christ, we are in a ridiculous situation now where if you have a reel or if you've got a bid that's longer than, say, 50 seconds, chances are it's not going to do particularly well. You know, they're all like, I think at one point it was 15 seconds. You had 15 seconds. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Thankfully, YouTube seems to slowly be reverting back to longer form content, you know, like 25, 30-minute plus bids. They seem to be... Well, the big hitters seem to be creating a lot more of that. So, who knows?
I aim for I sort of aim for not aim for that, but I can't get it to 10 minutes. I thought I can't show what I'm doing in 10 minutes. So I put it, I edit it, and then I'll go, right, am I happy with that? And I just run with it. So between 25 and 30 minutes. If people watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. Yeah. But I think we all get caught into that, you know, smashing reels out. You know, you've got 10 minutes and it turns into an hour and you're watching 15-second reels. But our brains gets hungry for that, doesn't it? You know, it's a bit weird really how
I hate it.
You know,
I hate the way that I lose hours of my life to that. And you just think, what have I done? Jesus Christ, what has happened to me?
It's that dopamine hitting it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad,
and it's never ending. That's the point. Like there's never an end to it because it's always new. It just continually comes your way. You never reach the end of that. It's just sucks your life away. Anyway, Chris also asks.
I've been listening to Joe Rogan, so I've used dopamine hit now in our
well
podcast.
Done. Are we going to start talking about weed, psychedelics, and jiu-jitsu? And comedy, how comedy is simply the best thing in the world and it's a solution to all the problems.
I just don't get how he bangs on about, you know, people doing coke. It's such a bad thing, but then he's off his nut on weed, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, okay.
I kind of thought recently, like the last 4 or 5 months, he just seems to, Rich coming from me, he just seems to talk and talk and talk and talk, and when like a guest comes on. Sometimes I find myself going, just shut up and let the guest talk. You know, and to me, in my mind, I'm like, you sound like you're on coke. Just like, are you on coke?
Yeah. I was just listening to one at work today, and it was telling him, like, you know, his guy who picks up all the factual stuff, you know, Jamie, and he's going, get that, and I thought, you're being rude to him. I thought, sounds like you're being really. Yeah, it's like, get that, and he's going, I am doing it, and it's like, yeah, not bad. I was kind of like that to him. I said, yeah, Joe Rogan, shut your mouth.
But then
I think it seemed a bit like egotistical or something, you know what I mean? So for him to,
I don't know the bloke obviously, but I genuinely don't think he is like that. Americans, you know, Americans are they're like Europeans, you know, in that sense,
like a bit more brash,
but they don't like the Spanish, the French. They don't They don't say please the way we do. Even like the Chinese, the Japanese, they don't say please like we do. You know, can I have that table? You know, can I have that cup, please? Or could you do this for me, please? Like they're not like that. They're just like, you know, give me a sandwich. Give me a coffee. That sort of stuff. That's how they say in their language a lot of the time. And the Americans are like that, aren't they? That's what they go. They go into a shop and go, give me a mocha chapa frappuccino. Whereas the Brits, people take the piss out of us for it's please, thank you on everything.
Yeah.
But
I always say, can I have? And people say, can I get?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people in the South. I've spoken to Sam Vincent about this, and I pulled him up and says, "Can I get? Is it not? Can I have?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a softer way of, and he goes, "I never thought about it like that."
Yeah.
So
I think it's a younger thing as well, a younger generational thing as well.
Yeah.
So I think we were brought up properly, Mark. So you know we speak properly.
100%, mate. 100%.
Chris also says, question 2, when are you guys getting a KTM? You know it's inevitable. Well, watch this space, Chris.
When I get a sponsor, I'll get a KTM. I've got a KTM anyway. I've got a KTM.
Yeah, you do have one.
I have got a KTM, yes. Yes,
your little off-road bike.
Yes. Weapon. Absolute weapon.
Yeah, the new 1390 Super Adventure S.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
Yeah, me too.
And I think Sam might be as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know Pete Brown-Smith. I think he's been sharing some stuff as well.
Yeah,
he's into the R's, isn't he? He likes the R's.
I've got one last thing to try with the 1300 GS. I love that bike, apart from the engine. I mean, it's fast. It's ridiculously fast. You don't need a faster bike. It's insane how quick that bike is. But the engine just leaves me flat. You know, it's rattly, it's whiny, it's clunky. So I'm hoping I'm putting some decat headers on, which aren't strictly decat. They still have a very small cat built into them. So I'm putting the headers on with the slip on, and then I've bought the DNA air filter and airbox kit. So that should amplify the induction on it. So I'm just hoping with that maybe gives it a bit more character, because it's just too beige for me. You know, it's just, it's not tickling my nuts, and I need a bike to do that.
On, you know, the sound when you did your 12,000 mile review, and you did mention the whine of the engine, but it just doesn't sound. It just doesn't sound like a GS. You know, you can go like the 1200 and the 1250. They've got a particular sound, but the 1300 sounds very quiet, and it does sound rattly.
I'm editing vids from last year at the moment. No, I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, cool. Right. Yeah, I can. Yeah,
I'm editing at the moment the East 500 tour that we did last year with Chicken Strips. So that was August time, and I'm on my 1250 for that, and I will be on a 1250 for the next couple of vids that will be coming out. And oh mate, it sounds so good. Like I'm just riding along and I'm going whap whap, because I had the Jekyll and Hyde exhaust on that, but the engine just sounds different. You know, and I really enjoyed that engine. You can hear me enjoying it because I'm whap whap. I'm just blipping the throttle all the time. Whereas in the 1300, it just doesn't do it for me, which is nuts, because it is an incredible machine. It is incredibly quick. It's so agile. All those sides of things, I love it, but it's not doing it for me, sadly. So watch this space, Chris. Watch this space. That's all I'm saying. Fen Tour, Martin. Well, hello, Mark, from somewhere near Leeds. Just to let you know that I was not aware that I was the first to overtake the leader until I watched my video footage the next week and saw with horror that it was me. Oh, is this the Dundee clan meet?
Yeah.
What was all that about? Because I was on a different planet at that clan
so
meet.
So were we. So basically, like I said to you when we got to that cafe when we all regrouped, I could not identify Robert. If it had been on his 1800, I could have identified him. And pretty certain we did pass him, and I did see him pull over at the fuel stop, and I thought, I'm looking at him going, who's this guy? I thought, and I was saying not come to guy, guy's going, is that Robert? Was that Robert? Is that Robert? And Brian's going, who's Robert? Who's Robert? Because obviously it was his first time he's been, you know what I mean? And yeah, we passed him, and then Martin's video came out, and he put it on his video that he didn't realise that he'd passed him. And then I last week I was on Peaky's Live, and I said to him, I says, you were the first person. I says, and I got the clan spanner, and I says, this is coming to you next time, mate. Like that to him, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was a bit of a an odd one, you know what I mean? You know what it was as well.
So go on.
The riding was fast as well. It was so fast. The pace was amazing. The pace was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was much faster than the usual sort of clan meetups.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I was. I'd come hot from our Beyond 500 Scotland tour with chicken strips, but I came down with a bug sort of the Wednesday, Thursday of that tour, and it just knocked me for six, man. There was a day when I couldn't ride for a day, so poor old Simon had to take the reins himself that day. And by the time I come to Dundee for the clan meet, I was still foobarred. I was still like in a land of my own. So, yeah, God, got no idea.
And then you were fighting a hangover on the Saturday morning as well.
Not at all, mate. Not at all. On Saturday morning?
Yeah, first day at ride.
I wasn't fighting a hangover, no. I could hardly drink Friday night.
I'm sure people were throwing stuff at you. I'm sure.
Yeah, they were.
Whiskey?
Yeah,
you had whiskey, didn't you?
I think I only had two pints, maybe 3 pints, and I had a couple of whiskies as well. Yeah,
because I had a sip of your whiskey because I was chatting with you and I said, "Can I smell that?" And can I have a sip like that? And it was just like fire to me. You know what I mean? So I passed it back to you.
I'll tell you what, I thought you were going to be drinking tonight, so I've armed myself with another bottle of whiskey.
Behave yourself.
We might crack that open later. We'll see. So sorry, yeah, Martin. So if you want to see that video, folks, head over to Fen Tours, FEN Tours channel, Martin's channel, and check that one out. But he's got a question. Anyway, my question: if you stopped being a GS fanboy, what bike would be your main ride? I think this is going to be to both of us. Obviously, you're a fat GS rider, aren't you? You like the adventure.
I think, yeah. I think if I were to change, I'd probably go for a normal 1250, just for a change, or probably take the plunge and go for the super adventure.
So you wouldn't look at the new 1300 adventure?
I don't think so. Just it's like years out of any conceivable budget. You know what I mean? So what I've done is good and bad as well. Is almost 2 years ago I rid my finance on my bike, so they're all paid for. So it's hard to jump back on the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
You know, I'm off it now. I'm completely off it. I could see that bike still being in the garage in the next 5 years' time. You know what I mean? It's quite easily. I just love the bike, but I do like the super adventure. I've always kind of said I'd go for that. I'd go for that one.
Yeah.
But I think if I were in line for buying a bike, I'd probably go test ride a few bikes.
Have you ridden the new V4 Ducati yet? I know it's mega bucks again, but have you ridden them?
No. I've not ridden any Ducatis.
Right, the V4, the V4S Multistrada.
Yeah, I do like them.
It's not. I still hold the KTM higher. You know, the KTM would still get my vote, but the Multistrada is a damn good bike. It's a real good. I took that to the Pyrenees on our tour this year. I took, I think it was the Grand Tour one I had. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but I remember jumping back on my 1300, and the 1300 is quicker. It's definitely quicker.
Is it?
Wow. Oh, God, mate, the 1300 is the quickest one out the lot. I mean, the KTM, the Super Adventure, will pee on the 1300 top speed, but the 1300 will beat the KTM off the mark. It's faster.
All right.
Yeah, if you put like-for-like people on it and riders' capabilities, the GS will beat the KTM off the mark.
Oh, right.
top
Wow.
top end KTM will pull away, but
Yeah.
and the Ducati, it's just got a really engaging engine. It's just such a lovely engine. It's beautiful. And I've got to say, the like the quality of the components on the bike just felt, I don't know, to me, it just felt like it upped the game. Because my previous experience of Ducati was the old 1260 Multistradas. So going from them to these V4s, the V4s just seem to be on a different league to me. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of money. The bike I had was 25.5 grand. You're like, that's ridiculous.
They are a pretty penny these days, aren't they? Money's been devalued as well, isn't it? Since COVID and all this, the inflation and stuff like money's not worth it used to be.
And like you said, credit.
Let's go back to 2019 days. 2019, the heydays. You know what I mean? That was the hey year, wasn't it?
When a pound was a pound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But credit. You said there about finance and stuff. I could not afford to have a bike if it wasn't for finance. Every single bike I've ever owned has been on finance, so that's just how I do it. I don't look at the cost of a bike. I look at what is that going to cost me each month. It's a ridiculous way to look at it because it's dead money.
I get that. I get that. But thing is, it's a tool for your trade, isn't it? And
it is.
Mine doesn't leave the garage unless I'm going on a bike ride or a weekend. I don't ride it to work. I never ride it to work. And also, you do in a year what I do in 5 or 6 years on a bike. So I've done 20,000 miles on my bike. It's only done 20,000 miles. You know what I mean? So, and I bought it when it had done 2,000 miles. So I've done 18,000 miles on that bike, which when I did buy it, it was 3 years old. It looked like a brand new bike. It had the same set of tires on from manufacturer. It were mint. It was just perfect. I bought it without seeing it, and they wheeled it off at back at van. Yeah. And I said to the guy, I said, if it's not as you said, you can wheel it back on. And it's like, wow, it was just perfect. Bike I always wanted. So
my GS is going in for its 18,000 mile service tomorrow.
Yeah, because when you put that 12,000 video out and then you posted up that it were like 18,000 miles, and I'm like, where the hell have you been?
Yeah, but I mean,
well, you do own a touring company.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Every month at the moment, I'm probably doing 2,500, 3,000 miles each month at the moment during tour season. So, it adds up massively, it adds up quick. And the bike's not even a year old. But that said, I probably do half the miles that I used to do because I used to ride in and out of work every day. So, I was doing 800 mile a week sometimes. So that's just commuting. So again, that all adds up.
Yeah, anyway. It's not a cheap mode of transport neither, is it?
No, certainly not. Certainly not. I picking something up that you said about price for the GSA. Have you seen the cost of the GSA?
No, I haven't. No.
It's going to surprise you. It's not even $1,000 more expensive than the GS.
Is it not?
No. Well, I picked my GS. I've got the TE triple black. So without luggage, so just the bike itself without luggage, but it's got Dynamic Pro. It's got adaptive cruise. It's got the electric screen. It's got heated seats. Obviously the heated grips. It's got all the gadgets and gizmos that you would get with a TE model. It hasn't got the adaptive ride height because I'm normal. I don't need it. I'm not a midget like yourself.
You're far from normal.
but that was 21,495, I think, or it's just under 21.5 grand. That's what I paid for it. For the similar spec GSA 1300, you're going to be looking at, I think, less than 22.5. So it's it's, in fact, I think it's about 600 quid more than the GS. I think it might even be less. It may even be less for some weird reason.
They always used to be about 1,800, £2,000 more, didn't they?
But this one isn't. Because I sat on the triple black at Group 1 the other week, and mate, I've said it on the podcast before. I loved it. I really liked it. Like for me, it was like, oh, this is the first GSA that I've sat on where I've gone, I think I prefer this to the actual GS.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
Have they only offered you scrap value for yours then? For trading?
They basically laughed at me. They basically, yeah. My mate at Group 1, I said to him, "Oh, I could be tempted here, but I'm assuming I'll take a cut." And he looked at me and he said, "I've already preempted it because I knew you'd love this, and I've made inquiries with BMW HQ, and they won't even entertain it. They will not even touch me because it's an 11-month-old bike with 18,000 miles. They're just like, nope." I'm not even going to offer. So you're like, oh, great.
It's not going to level out, though, is it? You know what I mean? The mileage is never going to level out, though, is it?
No. Well, this is what annoys me, because if I keep the bike for, say, 18 months or 2 years, then I'm at that point in the finance where, they're not obliged, but they're kind of expected that I can just hand that bike back and then either pay off the remaining finance, or I can just take out another bike, at like 2 years into a 3-year finance deal. Yeah. So, I mean, one of us is going to take a hit. It's obviously going to be me, isn't it? I'm going to get bent over and that'll be that. Unless KTM make me an offer. You never know. We'll see. Take it to a friendly KTM dealers. We'll see.
Or the M1000R becomes...
Can't get insured.
Can't you?
No, I did look. I looked, but not a chance.
If you move to Scotland, like your plan is, you know what I mean?
No, not anymore.
They didn't show you on a jumbo jet.
No, what it is for me is because I need 20,000 mile a year, and I need full business use.
Yeah.
Not a hope. Just they will not entertain it for the M1000R. Not a chance.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I was all ready to speak with Lone Rider and see if they'd do like an specially adapted top box for it and also.
I'll tell you what, I bet they'd love to do that. I bet would absolutely love to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I could just learn how to wheelie. Yeah. Right, let's get on. Let's get on for another question. Cheers for that one, Martin. Next one, Ride With Me. Evening, gents. Look forward to this one coming out already. Here you go. If you had to choose between never being able to ride a motorbike again or only being able to ride naked, which would you pick and why? Weird people, man, in the clan. There's some weird folk. Well, I'd still ride. I'd go Lady Godiva. I'd go in the buff.
I'm just thinking, the amount of times I fall off road, I'd be picking gravel out of my ass all the time. It's not really doesn't really sound appealing. Or just imagine getting 3rd-degree burns off the exhaust on your leg. Yeah, not your left leg or your right leg either. Your
toothpick. Yeah,
your toothpick.
But can you imagine not riding a bike? I mean,
that'd do my head in. That.
Yeah,
that'd do my head in.
I can't imagine life without that.
It's the best shot. It's the best shot I can ever have. You know what I mean?
It's the best what? The best shot.
Best shot. It's a bit like best shot.
Best drug.
You can have. Best drug. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best pick me up that I can have. I can go out for a day, do 300 mile, come back, and I'm buzzing my head off. I'll go into the shed, cut a load of dividers, come out, and I'm wired. I'm completely wired.
I used to I don't really do that kind of riding anymore, but I used to ride with my mate Jimbo, and we were both on sports bikes, and you would finish a day's riding, you'd get home, and you'd just be sat there shaking, with the adrenaline. Or you'd get to the car for a brew, and we'd both just be sat there shaking with the adrenaline dump. And you couldn't hold your brew because you're shaking so much. And you just start laughing. And I miss that. But I think it's sort of a miracle that we actually survived that kind of riding. But I used to love it. I used to love doing that. I can't do that anymore. It's just not possible.
No, it'll catch up on you one day, won't it?
Yeah. Well, there's the old saying, isn't there? Don't ride faster than your guardian angel can fly.
Yeah, so, they can keep up. Yeah.
I think we're all getting a bit older.
You roll the dice, don't you? You roll the dice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. So what you if you could only ride naked, you'd give up riding then? Is that what you're telling me? What a prude.
I'd look half decent naked, so I'll probably go with I'd go with naked. You know what I mean?
Give me your mirror. I need your mirror. Whatever mirror you're looking at to get this impression of yourself, I need that mirror.
Well, my helmet will still be on, won't it?
I don't think your helmet will fit. Your head's too big.
My head. My head's too big.
Racist. Right, cheers for that one.
Again.
Next one. Mark Fulcher. Oh, Christ. Let's see what he's got.
Well, I've definitely not seen this one. I've not seen this one.
I've just seen there's anal mentioned a lot in this. Let's go. Hey up me ducks. Anal. Sorry, just wondering if anal has been said on a podcast so much before. Well, it hasn't until now. Anyway, quick one for you both. Is there a growing concern with celebs like yourselves that every Tom, Dick and Harry are producing content for the Tinterweb now? Every time I pass a bike these days, every single one of them has a big rubber dildo stuck to their helmet with a camera on it. Am I now the alien by just purely wanting to go and ride my bike with all devices switched off and purely for the fun of riding? Why does it all have to be documented and not ignoring the expense and faff? I know it's your career, Bruce, and anal is a celeb amongst celebs, but has the purity of riding a bike gone to a place of no return? This is interesting. That's the second question along these lines. Are people getting fed up of all this, do you think?
I don't know. I know there's a lot of people that do document the travels, and there's a lot of people that film that don't actually put it to YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are.
I know Pete Brownsmith. He almost films everything that he does, and he never puts a video out. Ian Judd, he films a lot of stuff, never puts a video out. So I don't know if it's sort of best made plans, and then they decide, can't be bothered sat in front of a computer for 10 hours.
There's a lot of work involved. Yeah.
And that's just taking files from the GoPro or whatever camera you use to the computer, even before you start.
Yeah, that interests me. That, you know, that's two people so far. Bearing in mind we're on like 4 questions in. That's 2 people so far that are like, everyone seems to be doing this these days. And I kind of feel like that when you look at social media, because with the algorithms, the second you start watching any motorbike related stuff, that's everything. No, it's just all bike related stuff that starts coming your way, doesn't it? And there seems to be so many people out there doing stuff. But who's harming it? For me personally, I don't know if you're the same. Find out in a second. But for me, even if I just go for a ride, I tend to have a camera with me, just because I enjoy doing it. You know, I got into this because I enjoyed filming, documenting, and then editing. I enjoyed doing it. So whether it's my career or not, I think I would still be doing it. In fact, I know I would still be doing it because I enjoy it. It's nice occasionally not to have cameras on. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But generally, I will always have a camera.
Yeah, you've been at it quite a number of years now, so you can probably make a selection not to do it. But I'm in the infancy of documenting these. My dad watches them as well, so he'll say to me, I've watched your video that you sent me, and I'm going, no, Dad, I didn't send you it. It's YouTube's just letting you know that it's on there. And he'll say to me every time, because he only follows me on YouTube. He watches a lot of YouTube, my dad, but he only subscribes and follows me. But he likes watching it as well.
But, hey, come on. I'm trying to hit 100k here. Jesus.
Yeah. He's not Father Anal, you can't say that.
Well, he's your father and you're anal, so, you know, Father Anal.
Father of Anal.
Father of Anal. The father of anal. What a title.
It sounds like some sort of priest now, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, well, let's not go there. Yeah, but what I mean, far be it for me to spout out advice, Mark, but like never lose Never lose the passion and enthusiasm for it. Never feel like you're obligated. You have to record stuff. You have to do stuff. Never feel like that.
No.
Because when that
No.
happens, and I've gone through that over the last sort of 4 years of being full time at this, quite a few times you start thinking, I can't be arsed. I just can't be arsed. But you feel like I've got to, because if I don't chuck a vid out, then straight away you see how if you don't put a vid out every week, when you have been putting a vid out every week, you'll see your analytics just plummet. And that's exactly what I've seen this year in particular, because with my tours, it's just not possible to chuck a vid out every week sometimes. So same with the podcast. But I think you have to keep getting a grip of it and going, I'm doing this because I enjoy it.
Yeah, I fundamentally do, and I'll, like I was saying earlier on, I'll get round to it when I get round to it. If other things are going on, maybe I just want to sit down and watch telly for one night or whatever. I'll get round to it when I get round to it. I did actually, since got this MacBook, I took it on holiday with me, and on the morning, when kids are in bed and me and Laura's had breakfast and that, I'll do an hour or two, and then we'll go down to the pool and come back. And I quite enjoyed that, because rather than turning TV on, because me, I don't particularly watch much TV. I'll sit in front of the computer and edit or whatever. But no, I do enjoy it. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. I don't feel obligated to put a video out. I think if my channel were monetized and I were getting noticed by people who wanted to send me gear and tech and stuff like that, then I think that's a different level. It's a different, like, I'd have to look at it differently as perspective of how obligated I felt, towards that.
Don't start treating it like a business. Just don't. Just do it because you enjoy it, and just enjoy the freedom of just doing your thing. And if doing your thing, this would be my advice. Obviously, nobody needs to take it, but that would definitely be my advice. Just enjoy it. Be you. Create what you want to create and build your following, your brand, and your community around that. And that way, it's easy. You're just being you, and that is the end product to people. When you start trying to tailor things because you want a specific, I don't know, an end game, you want to be attractive to these type of companies, or you want this bit of kit. Once you start doing that, it's a lot harder to remember what persona you want to have, remember what sort of end product you want to produce when you're tired, when you're fucked off, when, do you know what I mean? Like, be you, and it's easy. Yeah. It's easy then. It's just you.
It's great advice. It's appreciated. I take what you and Rich said as well. It says, make the videos you want to make.
Yeah,
that's good. That that's the things that I do. It's like I'll sit here for 6, 8, 10 hours, or 20 hours, or 30 hours, or however long it takes to do, on and off, and I'll go, right, I've watched that through 4 times. That's my video. Put it out.
Yeah. You've watched it through 4 times.
Yeah, because like I'll go, right, I'll chop 10 seconds out of that. I'll chop 10 seconds out of that. So not 4 times in a row, but I'll watch it through and then chop out. And at least twice. I do it at least twice.
Man, I must do it about 100 times without an exaggeration.
The whole
constantly. That's probably why my editing takes so long. Is that I'll sit and I'll edit. I'll spend an hour or 2 editing, and that I might end up with a couple of minutes of like finished product, if you like. But I'll watch through all that, or say it's 5 minutes so far. I'll watch through that 5 minutes each time just to see what sort of experience it gives me watching it. Like, okay, I've watched it, and there's been a if I feel like, okay, there's a bit of a lull here, then I want the next segment, the next sequence, that's going to be a montage with some upbeat music or some dynamic riding or something. I want to pick up. I want people to this sounds so wanky. Now I'm actually airing this out to you. It sounds so wanky when I hear myself. But I want it to be an experience when people watch it. You know, I want to take people on a nice little path when they watch the vid. So bring them up, and then, okay, there's a bit of a lull here. What are we going to deal with? Is it going to be a funny, a crack that's happened during the day, or is someone actually making a point? Or is it a beautiful bit of landscape that you're going to present people? Or, you know, because you can tailor how the experience people have by what footage you show, what music you use, what sound effects you're putting in there, the speed of how the timeline is. Do you slow that footage down? Do you use a speed ramp maybe to speed it up and make it a bit more dynamic to fit music or the experience or the whatever's going on? So I'm constantly watching through the footage just to see how is that making me feel. What do I feel like what's a natural progression for this? What's the next bit, you know? And then I have to look through my footage and go, right, okay, well, this bit will fit here. Let's put that in. Because I used to just go chronological. You know, I used to just look at, right, well, that's what happened at the start. This is what happened through the day, and that's what happened at the end.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not a great story. Sometimes there's not much there, is there? But if you take a bit from the end and chuck it at the start,
that's what I do. But on a couple of occasions where I thought it was a bit of a dead spot there, so what I've done is I've used the audio from somewhere else, from some other point, and then added that audio into there, and then because nobody knows, you know, as long as you can balance like the engine sound or something like that. Or what I've done is, you know, if I wanted to mask something, like say if I'm talking, I'll say something stupid.
No way, not you.
So, which I often do. What I'll do is I'll dub that over with engine sound, because I don't want to lose that shot of wow, you know. So that's a little bit, you know. I mean, I am kind of a chronological order. My story has to start at 9 a.m. and then when I'm done at 4 o'clock. But I quite often do is I do, you know, like you do as well. You do a lot of filming. You probably do more filming
than you need.
Than you need. Tons of it, absolutely tons of it. But I always kind of go start. So I start, do a piece, you know, my intro, whatever. Do a bit of riding, maybe leave where I'm going, because I want to lead people into where I want to get to, and then lead them out. Just for that, I can't just go, we're having a coffee, then boom, and bike's doing 60 mile an hour. You know, I need to. But that point of put your gloves on, put your helmet on, putting all this on, it's a little bit of a dead process, but it has to tell that sort of story for me. You know, like I do a little bit more where I stop and go, right, I'm at this coffee shop now. And then I might just do a quick, you know, silly, are you enjoying your coffees and cakes or whatever? And then just sort of to glue that bit together sort of thing.
Yeah. Sequence transition. That's the core of filmmaking, effectively. Everything has sequence transition. It's just, it's the process of a piece of a film. That's what it's all about. And you link everything up through your sequences or your transition pieces. It's just what you do. What you just said there about taking audio from one part and putting it to another and wanting to link parts up, without wanting to suck your dangly bit, that is already like a next level in editing. You know, you're already above basic there straight away. 95% of people out there are creating videos. They don't do that. They don't do any of that. So, you know, you're already taking another step there doing that.
I put a little reel out. We was in Wales with Sam. We was on his Patreon weekend, and there was this. We stopped at this petrol station, and there were a lass that was struggling to undo her petrol cap. It basically a lock had seized. So we managed to get some WD-40 and free this lock up. But I was saying, so we had Sam on comms, or we heard Sam talking to the lass, and he's going, "Oh, it might sound a bit gross, this, but spit on the key." And I says in a different frame. I was over it. Oh, have you seen it?
It's obvious, isn't it?
So yeah. So basically, that wasn't in that frame of shot, you know. But I used the audio, scavenged the audio.
Yeah.
And Sam was going like that, and I'm going, nice key action, Sam, like that. But the lass she was hilarious. She was hysterical. You know what I mean? It's kind of like she was proper, like, just enjoying sort of the moment. And but that'll be when I do the video. That scene will play out in its natural state. I'll probably boost Sam's. Whoever's talking, I'll boost that up and bring the levels down or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Mark also says, has Anal ordered any mittens yet? Keep up the good work, shiny side up. Much love, Fulch. Do you know what he's talking about with mittens?
He's on about these hand grip things. These
handlebar mittens.
I've got some. I've already got some.
They're brilliant.
I've never used them.
You don't need them because you've got a GS. So you don't need them with a GS because the heated grips are so good.
You know, the reason why I bought them, and it's going back a while now. You know, when we went to Devon, and we did Clan Weekend in Devon.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who organised that one now?
That was Mike and Brian, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I bought them for them because I've got this little bit of a thing that if my gloves get wet and my hands get wet and I can't get my hands in the gloves, it sort of stresses me out. So. And I didn't have Climb Gore-Tex gloves at the time, but now I've got Climb Gore-Tex gloves. It's not a problem. So I never used them.
You're trying to get backed by Climb Gore-Tex gloves.
I would love to. I'd be a total bigger Climb bitch than what I am right now.
Yeah, I think mittens are great.
I've got them. I might give them an outing this winter and send Mark a photo that they're on the bike. Also,
you'll cook your hands.
I've got his lad's sticker on my board as well.
Alfred.
Alfred,
I can see it. Can see it there. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Really?
That. I was a bit apprehensive when he says, text me and says, send me your address.
Yeah, you never quite know what's going to arrive.
Give me a backstory. Send me your address. and he sent me it through, and it was great. I sent him some stickers. I sent him some new stickers as well, but I never got a response from him. But I don't know if he's moved house.
He might have actually. He has moved. Genuinely, he has moved. So I don't know
if he watches this back, Mark, drop me a message if you've moved or you've received the new sticker. I don't know where they are. Oh, they're here.
What's the new sticker? Show us.
I'm organised.
Is that new? I've got one of them. I got one of them.
Yeah, no, it's new. It's new to this year. You know, I had the roundel before.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I thought that was the old one.
No, so the roundel. It's on the speaker here. Oh no, I can't show it. It's on the speaker. I don't have any more left as well.
Useless. Useless.
So yeah. So yeah, Mark, if you've received them, great. If you haven't, then let me know and I'll send you send me a new address.
Oh, he loves a blag, does Fulch. He loves a blag.
He's a good lad, you know. He's a good lad. He's a character.
He's all right for a minor. Right, next one.
There's no way he's a minor. There's no way he's a minor.
He was a proper full-on down.
Was it?
Yeah. It comes from his dad was a minor as well. Yeah,
down to pit.
Genuinely.
Right.
Yeah. He's a proper minor. Yeah.
He's a good lad.
Next one, Sam Vincent. Hi, Bruce, my darling. Hi, Mark Anal.
I ain't seen this one.
That is your name. Question for you both. Thoughts on the KTM lineup teaser? Not much info, but I'm thinking that finally the revised Super Duke GT would be an absolute weapon to have next to my SAS in the garage. Keep the SAS for commutes and two-up tours, the GT for everything else. Not sure where I'm getting the money from, but that's to worry about after I've ordered it. Okay, yeah, KTM lineup. Take it you've seen the teaser.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I reckon Sam will buy GT.
Now, I am going to put my head on the block here. I'm going to raise it above the parapet. I don't see the point in the GT. What do you mean as a bike in the range? Yeah, I don't see the point. It's a hyper naked, isn't it? They all have to have a hyper naked. But why? I don't see the point in it. You've got the Super Duke R if you want naked fun, and if you want to tour, you've got the Super Adventure S or the Super Adventure R, whatever one takes your fancy. What's the point of the GT?
Don't know.
But then I don't see the point in the RS in the BMW range because it's just a GS with a bit of fairing. Why bother with it? I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's for people who aren't quite ready to let go. They're not quite ready to go full adventure bike.
They're a smaller stature bike as well, aren't they? For the normal size. The RS.
For these bloody midgets again. Stop ruining modern motorcycles, you midgets. And
the R as well, isn't it? The 1250R. They'll be bringing a 1300R out, won't they?
No, that could be again, it's the same engine though, isn't it? So, sorry, we're back to the BMWs here. Apologies, KTM lovers. But it's that same 1300 engine. It's just not... It's too beige. It's just too... It's incredible performance, but it just sounds horrendous and it leaves me flat. Yeah.
We'll have to ride one out.
But then I loved it initially. I loved it probably for the first 6,000 miles. And, it just, once that novelty of, oh my God, this thing is an utter weapon, once that, the laughs and the giggles, when that wears off, you're just left with, it's not doing it. It's not, other bikes come by, or you're next to another bike going through a tunnel, for example, and you blip the throttle when you go through tunnels. It's just what you do, isn't it? And if you don't, then you're dead inside. But when you do that, and you can't hear the 1300, it just sounds like a blooming air dryer. It's shite. Everyone else's bike is growling and barping and popping and farting, and yours is just going when you roll off the throttle. It's horrible.
How does it go?
Right, okay, so GT. Don't get the GT, Sam. Please don't. If you need two bikes, get the Super Adventure S and then the Super Duke R. Then you've got two bikes.
Well, what's the difference between the GT and the R or whatever it is?
I genuinely don't know. I'm assuming it's just. I'm assuming there's maybe a slightly different tune to the engine, maybe, and it's got a bit of a fairing. Is that it? Is there anything else different? Tell me in the comments. Please do tell me in the comments because that'll help the algorithm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, okay.
I'm not into bikes like that. Are you? I'm like...
No, I'd prefer something with a screen fairing or something like that.
No, but I mean, like, there's people out there who just devour the specs of bikes. They love all the intricacies of it. Oh, and this is this engine, that's that engine, and this one is, it's slightly different than that one because it's retuned and it's got a different power delivery at these revs. I might have a quick look if I'm reviewing a bike just so I know that. What's the BHP? What's the torque? Seat height? That's about it.
I ain't looked at bikes for years. You know what I mean? Since I got my GS, I ain't looked at bikes for years. So I think the only bike that I'd probably change is the KTM. Which I've been thinking of just getting rid of it completely. I don't know. I've rode it once this year, Bruce.
Wow.
I've rode it once this year. Yeah.
So what would you do for all the off-road stuff then?
I don't know, to be honest. I probably need to ride it more. That's the thing. It's a lot of money tied up in the garage doing not a right lot. I need to get out and do more. I think because once I ride it, I do love it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But maybe a 690, but financially I can't stretch to that. Probably in reality, I should have kept the CRF 250. That would have been probably a better go further type of bike. You know what I mean? Because the 350 is just a weapon. It's a weapon all the time, and it's not very happy on the road. You know what I mean? If we ever get out again, you're more than welcome to have a play on it. You know what I mean? And you'll see what of an idiot machine it is. You know what I mean? So
right. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. The off-road thing we did. I enjoyed that. That was a giggle.
Yeah, that was good. On that KTM, I've got to have it on highest traction control setting. It has traction control as well.
Bloody hell! Wow.
It's just a mental machine, and it's so light as well, It feel like a BMX to you. It weighs about 110 kilo.
Jesus.
You know, it's
about my right leg, that. Sam's got some other questions for us. I think we need to get through these. Question specifically for Mark Anal. Have you stopped stalking the petrol station woman yet? You know, the one that we helped. This is the one you're talking about. The one that we helped on our way while you just gazed at longingly. Then in true fashion, disappointed with lack of stickers.
Oh, yeah.
What's the story?
So, they were fixing petrol cap thing, and I was just chatting to her. And
this is a Hawk Tour lass.
Yeah, the Hawk Tour lass. I was just saying, I do a little bit of YouTube. You don't mind being on YouTube and all the rest of it? And she went,
I'm a YouTuber.
You do YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. And I said,
I'll make you a star.
I said, no, I never said that. And I said, Sam's got a much larger channel than me. And he's going, stop it, you. Stop promoting my channel. I said, I tell you what. I said, I've got a sticker for you. Happy as Larry, walking over to Top Box. Up at Top Box. My Top Box dividers were all nice and neatly arranged. Plug. And looked in. I'd left him in a hotel. So I'm like, oh no, devastated. I says, message me on Instagram, and I says, I'll send you a set of stickers. I'll send you some stickers.
And has she?
She did, yeah. She did. So I sent her some stickers. Yeah.
Jeez. I was away to say, not for the first time, that you've left a woman wanting and disappointed. But anyway. Sam also says, when are you going to make more content? I can hear him saying how busy he is already. Is that at me or you?
I don't know.
Do you need to make more content?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably. I've got Wales. I've got the Wales trip to do, and then I don't have anything else.
I thought you were going to say more. I was waiting for you to develop on that. Is that it? That's it.
No. I don't have anything else. Maybe I'll do something this weekend. This weekend.
People are always messaging me saying, right, what's happened to the content? I don't get, like, I put a vid out generally once a week, generally. For the TeapotOne channel, it's once a week. And then for Bru Time, generally once a week. And then there's anywhere from 1 to 7 shorts for the podcast. At the moment, I'm trying to do one short every day for the podcast to build up to the next one and then the next one. But for the main channel, it's generally just one vid and a short. But I still get people going, I've not seen any content from you in ages. And I'm like, well, it's generally, the most you'll go generally is maybe 2 weeks before a vid comes out, just because I'm away on a tour or something. But I don't know.
I don't feel like I'm lacking in your content. You know what I mean? So
you've had enough of me. Oh God, no,
I don't. And it's always great when it comes out as well. So I've got a question to ask you. So you know the shorts that you do? Do you run that through an app?
For the captions, yeah. I mean, I edit the vids themselves on my normal platform on Final Cut Pro, but then to get the actual captions, I use CapCut. Have you heard of that? CapCut. There's loads of different apps out there. Yeah, there's loads of different apps out there now. In fact, there's just been a plugin released for Final Cut that does it as well. But I pay for the pro version of CapCut, and I just run it through that.
Okay. Is that on desktop? That? Do you?
Yeah. But you can get it on mobile as well. But I use the desktop version.
Yeah, I use Veed Captions and Video Leap for doing my reels.
I've seen your Video Leap stuff. Yeah. They work off templates, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. You can edit on that as well. Mark.
Infuriating. I see so many people making these reels for like Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, that looks awesome. But it's just it's a template, and I'm like, I like this. This is what I mean. Like the what's the word?
Purist.
The purist in me won't let me do that. I'm just like, I'm not going to. So even though I know my reels are shite in comparison, but I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to use a template and do it. And I should, because it's easier, it's quicker, and they look better. But
so the thing that you use, it picks out does it pick out the shorts? Does it pick them, or do you you go through the video and then go right? I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. Oh, I don't pick like the highlights or anything like that.
No.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
No. I edit the video till I get the long form vid, and then once that's done, I then go through that long form and I pick out 4 or 5 minutes worth of loads of little small clips, and then I have a huge timeline, say a 5 minute long timeline, and then I'll just duplicate that a few times. So say I've got 4 or 5 versions of that, and each one I'll just go through and I'll create a 20 to 40, 50 second long clip.
Yeah.
For each thing. So hopefully I might end up with 6, 7 shorts. For the podcast, I'll end up with say 6 or 7 shorts.
People actually
Go on. Sorry to interrupt there, apologies. But for the podcast, I now use a bit of software. It's a website called Opus Clip. And that uses AI to analyze the podcast, and it identifies what it thinks will be good talking points. So,
okay. Is that a paid one?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I pay for that.
Right, okay.
I think they've got a free version, but I'm not sure how much control you have over. I'm a control freak anyway, so I want control.
Is that on the web? Is that a web based?
Yeah, just Google Opus OPUS Clip.
Yeah.
In fact, I tell you what, I think I now have an affiliate. I'm not sure. Check out the show notes down below, folks, and if I do, I'll put it in there. So I don't. But that's what I use now for the podcast. I don't use that for my normal vids, just the podcast. But I think you can use it for normal vids now.
Yeah, people are not to moan about your content, because all these short clips and reels that you're doing is content, and it takes time. People don't realise how long it takes.
I know.
So that hot tour clip, that could have taken me anything up to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just to try and get it balanced and right.
Yeah.
So people don't realise.
No,
for 15 seconds. For 15 seconds.
I remember Casey Neistat.
It's like your sex life, innit, Bruce?
What, non-existent? Not all
that effort for 15 seconds, eh?
There's not even any effort anymore. It's just doesn't happen. I remember Casey Neistat saying this. Casey Neistat was huge in sort of 2017 till about 18, 19. He went through, I think, almost 3 years, 2 or 3 years of vlogging every single day. And his vids were anywhere from like 6 to 10 minutes long, but they were fantastic. And I remember people used to say to him, how are you doing this? How are you editing every single day, as well as having a family, as well as running a really successful sort of production company that he had as well, And the bloke just didn't sleep. I mean, he basically didn't. I think he survived on an hour or two of sleep a night, a day. And he was saying, for every minute of content, finished content that you see in his vids, that takes him anywhere from 1 to 3 hours for every minute. So, and I was like, hang on a minute, he's doing like a 6 or 8 minute long vid. And you're like, how the hell are you doing this? How is this happening? It's just the way, and that made me feel not too bad for the fact that it was taking me probably at that point 4 or 5 days to create a 20, 25 minute long vid. You know what I mean? You're like, Jesus, don't feel that bad anymore. But you do speed up. You do get quicker.
Yeah.
Sam says, all joking aside, Mark's a top-notch bloke and such a supportive guy. Founding member of my Patreon crew, and seriously, have you stopped stalking her yet? Is your petrol dude?
Yes, I am his founding member as well. I was number one.
Were you?
Number one. Yeah. Once he launched that thing, I joined his Patreon straight away. And I said to him, I said, why is my name not at the top? And when it's in alphabetical order, I went, all right then. All right then. Can you take me out of alphabetical order, Sam, and put me at the top? And then founding member at the side.
Mine's not in alphabetical, I don't think. Mine works. I always click the pledge column. When I get my list of patrons, I hit the pledge column, and I think that works off of. I used to think it worked off of who is the longest standing one. I think I'm not entirely sure how it works. There seems to be two different ways the way it does it. Anyway, I'll have a look at that. I forget I said that.
Yeah.
Next one, Nathan Moore. How you doing, Nathan? Evening. Hope you're both fitting well. Mark, we all know you're Bruce's biggest, or should that be smallest, fan. When you are as popular as Bruce, who will your comedy sidekick be?
I haven't thought that
wanky
down the line.
What a wanky question. Oh my God.
No, I'll reverse it round. Bruce is going to be my sidekick.
yeah, I'll be a proper has-been by that point, won't I? I'll just be, I'm almost there already, so, never mind.
I could be pushing you around in wheelchair like a Little Britain or something like that. Oh boy.
I'm gonna make it my purpose in life to outlive you now. Do you know
that? Keep riding like you do and you won't.
Says you're the fucking maniac. And to you both, would you rather be able to speak to animals or be able to read people's minds? Oh, animals. Animals every day of the week. People.
No, I know, but I said read people's minds.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you want to know what people actually are thinking and thinking of you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Ignorance is bliss, man.
Yeah, I suppose you're right there. I suppose you're right, ignorance is bliss, but yeah, I'll still stick with my first answer.
Yeah. I'm a biggie on, people are good, people are nice. I'm a biggie on that, but I'm also fully aware that we have our flaws. We all do, and,
oh yeah, 100%.
Where we can be judgmental, we can be facetious, we can be jealous, we can be all sorts. With all of the positives we've got,
two-faced.
Yeah, 100%.
It's normal, isn't it? It's a normal makeup in life. If somebody ever says that they were not two-faced, then they're not human, because we all are. You know.
And I have, I have emotions and feelings that will pop into my head, but then I make a conscious effort to go, don't be such a tart, don't be such a twat. That's the jealous in you coming out here. Forget that. Be reasonable. Be logical about stuff. I mentally have to say that to myself sometimes and just go, don't be a twat. Just, that's your initial gut reaction. Get rid of that. Think about things. And I wouldn't want people in my head knowing that I'm thinking that, because to me, it's just like, well, that's just, that would almost just, you would, what's the point of being reasonable and calculated about things anymore if people can just have access to that gut animal instinct that you have? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what makes us different to animals, is that ability to reason and logic and process.
Yeah.
But then I'd also like to see what my dog's thinking. I'd be more interested in thinking, does my dog think I'm a twat, or does my dog actually like me? You know what I mean? Like, is that lion looking at me going, I'm going to eat you? Or is the lion looking at me going, what's that? Can we have, not, I was going to say, can we have a bit of fun? But that sounds like the lion wants to shag me. I don't mean it like that. You know what I mean?
No. I think if that lion looked at you and says, if I eat you, I'm going to get indigestion.
It'll look at you and go, there's no point in eating that.
No, exactly.
Energy expelled won't be enough to... I won't recoup it.
I'm uneatable. I'm a burp.
Basically, Mark, you're not even an aperitif. That's what the lion is saying. You're not even worth it. That's what it thinks.
Yeah, and you eat candles, mate. You eat candles.
You love that story.
I love that story. That story tickles me. Every time I ask the question and you give the answer, I still laugh, because I thought this big ape is just chowing down on a candle.
None taken, Mark. None taken, honestly. None taken.
I thought, what a planet are you on? What a planet you're on.
I was somewhere recently on a tour, and they did the same thing.
Not a hawk tour.
Hawk tour. I think it was the French Alps tour. I remember being sat somewhere, and they brought a load of bread, and then they brought like these dishes. And I think I even remember saying to somebody, I was like, I wonder if these are candles. And they sort of laughed because they'd heard the story before. But it was this stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't a candle. It was supposed to go in your bread. Anyway, cheers for that one, Nathan. Next one.
That's because of me. That's because of me. Keep bringing it up.
It's all down to you. Next one, Peaky, Brian. Mark, as one of my best friends and a massive support to me, I thank you. My question is, where do you get your support from, and how do you dig down so deep to support so many people out? Excuse me.
No, he's great, Brian.
He's a good boy, isn't
he? He's a good soul, man. With me and Bryce definitely made a connection, a good friend connection. You know what I mean? So I was speaking to him.
He wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he, Brian?
He does, yeah. He does. He's a good boy. I don't know where I get my strength and digging deep. Just try and be positive. Got a good family around me as well, so get my strength from my family. But Brian is a good lad. I really do like Brian. You know what I mean? We met through dividers, top box dividers. Staying with Sam Vincent, top box dividers. That's how we got to know each other.
What is top box dividers, Mark? Sound like you're plugging something here.
So I make top box dividers in my shed because I've got a CNC machine, and the sectional dividers to keep all your valuables, your drones, your GoPros, and your butt plugs all nice and neatly arranged in your top box when you're going out on trips and tours.
What's a butt plug?
What's a butt plug? Ask Missy Dunflyer.
No, do you not remember Angry Kid? Do you remember Angry Kid?
No. Oh, is that that thing with the funny? Is that thing with the funny?
Yeah, the animated series.
No,
Dad, what's a butt plug? It was brilliant.
No, I do know exactly. When you said that, I do know exactly what you mean by that. But no, I never watched that.
Anyone that's out there that's never heard of Angry Kid, do yourselves a favour, get on YouTube
and don't bother
and search Angry Kid. It's brilliant. Dad, what's a butt plug? Oh, you can see the bone. Do you remember them? I loved all them. They were awesome.
Yeah, I do know the clips. Yeah,
you just don't find them funny. You're dead inside. So, come on, let's get deep and meaningful on this. Where do you get your support? Is it your family? Is it Laura? Your lovely Laura? Is that where you get your support?
Yeah, she's great. She's the calm. She's always the calm in the storm. So I've been through some shit over the last 2 years as well with work and stuff like that, and financially being screwed over by my current employer. But yeah, she were there to pick up the pieces, which was great. So yeah, but we're a partnership. We've been together a long time. We've been, you know what I mean, we got together when we was 19. So we've been together since 1998. Been married 20 years.
Jeez.
So yeah, been together a good whack.
Poor lassie. I'm
kids.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Got 2 amazing kids, you know what I mean, as well.
Yeah, it does make me laugh because normally it's like the kids are the ones on the phone and doing all the social media stuff. And then on like your Instagram, you've constantly got your phone out and you're like showing it to your kids and stuff. And the kids are ones in the background just like, oh God, Dad's doing it again.
Oh God. Yeah. You know, my daughter Amy, she goes ballistic with me. You know, if I put music to a reel or something like that, or to a story, she just messages me and goes, "Don't," and that was it. Don't. And I know exactly what she means is do not put the music to it, and I do all the time. So, like if it's something to do with stickers, I'll search a song that's got stickers in it. There is a song that's got stickers
what
in
I
it.
do. Yeah.
Or yeah. It must be an old dad thing, you know what I mean? So
like for this one here, because you're in it, I'll search for a song that's got twat in it, you know, and that's what'll be in it.
If the cap fits, wear it, and I'll wear it with pride.
Minion, maybe something like that.
I am one in a minion, though. I am one in a minion.
Anyway.
You know, my wife was winding me. You know, Laura was winding me up tonight because they're like their doors then. That, you know, in the background, obviously with the curtains, and she's opening the door and she's coming through the curtain going hello like that, and I says, I'm going to get you on the podcast, you know what I mean? So she was just like, proper,
6
like,
people are going to see this. 6 people are going to see it.
Yeah.
Brian Peaky Biker, he's also put a wee thing at the end. He says, "You're a great friend to me, Mucker, and deserve all the luck in the world. Remember, Guinness is good for you in moderation."
Top lad.
Yes.
Next one, Dave McCracken. Mark, what a pleasure to have you back on. I've given real depth of thought to these questions. So, would you rather eat 10 mini sausage rolls or one massive one?
Easy, 10 mini sausage rolls. I could eat them in one go as well, so.
Well, why not just have one massive one then?
I don't know. Just
think about it. He's put thought into the question, put thought into your answer. Come on.
10 mini sausage rolls.
Well, what's the difference between 10 mini sausage rolls and one massive one?
Nine more. 9 more.
Kind of true, I suppose. All right, then.
Yeah. You see my
second
logic?
part. Not often, no. We all know just how much you and Sam are in love. It's lovely to see your burgeoning bromance, but who would win in a fist fight?
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That's it.
He's quite a bit. He's quite a bit more stockier than me as well. So
nothing to do with the physical size.
And also, obviously, gingers are quite tough people. Because obviously, historically, they get bullied a lot, don't they? So I wouldn't want to mess about with a ginger. I
spent 6 years on the doors in Glasgow. Violence and aggression has nothing to do with physical size. Some of the most violent, aggressive people I know are little Glasgow midgets.
Yeah, women.
A lot of the time, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Women are like our cat reacts when you put it into a bag. Out there. You know, like that. That's going to be a reel now as well, isn't
it? Yeah. How did they go again? Okay, next one. What piece of advice would you give your 16-year-old self if you could? Oh, I like that.
Go and get a degree. Go and get a degree. Go to university and get a degree.
Really? Would you?
Yeah.
Why?
And I'm not academic because that degree won't sort of limit you in your field. Like me, I've learned a job that there's no you don't go to college to do it. Mm-hmm. I've honed my trade in a firm and just learned how to do the job well in the plastic industry. Plastic is what I know, and I spent a long time, obviously, in one firm learning that. And you learn how to work in that firm rather than having like a wide experience. I've worked in a couple of firms, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think because we're pushing Daniel now, to go to university and get a degree, and it'll set himself up it'll open more doors. I think that's why. I would, but I probably still wouldn't take my own advice, my 16-year-old self's advice, because I couldn't wait to get away from education. Could not wait to get away from school.
This is interesting, right? Because I would be the polar opposite to you. I went to uni. I was very academic through school, and I went to uni and I got a degree in civil engineering, but I've never ever used it. And for me, the whole uni experience wasn't about getting a degree. For me, what I got from it, other than a son, but what I got from my time at uni was life experience. It was that branching away from home and living on my own, albeit with mates, and then just discovering who I was, growing up, basically, away from my mum's aprons and, the sort of traditional family upbringing that I'd had. and you can get that. You could get that anywhere, really, couldn't you? You could get that if you joined the forces. You could get that if you just left home and got a job and did all that. But I do take on board what you said about is that safety net. That you've got a degree. Although I've never used it, that I've never ever had a job in my life where the degree
would academically be of any use at all. You know, it's just, I've got a degree, fine. But
but would you not have to meet a certain standard to join the police force?
No,
you know what I mean?
no. All you used to have to do, and I don't think it's, well, no, that's lies. Now you need a degree, and they are seeing how ridiculous that is. You know, you have to have a degree to join the old bill. It's fucking just ridiculous. You don't. All you needed to do when I joined, and everyone before me, was have a basic grasp of English and maths. That was it. To a rudimentary level. Can you string a sentence together and write? You know, can you write stuff that is legible and makes sense? And is your maths? Can you do 2 + 2? Can you do that? Excellent. Right. Come in. Let's see if you can actually do the job. Now, this requirement for degrees for everything, it's a load of bollocks, because all a degree shows anybody is, unless you're going to become a doctor or, you know, like a physician or something, you know, a physicist, sorry, or like an architect, an engineer. If you're going to go into a specific role, occupation where you need that degree in order to get that, okay, I get it. But all a degree shows an employer is you can focus yourself, you can apply yourself. Yeah,
yeah.
But surely anyone that has a reasonable CV behind them of, okay, you know, you've done this line of work and you've been here and you've done that, surely that shows the same thing, doesn't it?
I jumped straight from leaving high school, getting my results, jumping straight into an apprentice mechanic position. And I didn't do that for very long. I sort of toughed that out for a year, and sort of the wheels were falling off the wagon. It was a small, like, family-run garage, and probably a little bit green around the ears, if I'm honest. You know, I'd be able to deal with it much more better. Well, I'm a middle-aged man now, but, you know, if I'd have gone back to that in my 20s, I could have bossed that easy. But I was just too young. Not immature, probably. Immature. But I jumped out and I just started doing, you know, warehouse work and stuff like that. And then I landed into something that I like doing, which is working at this company, fabricating plastic, you know, cutting and shaping and plastic to make it into wonderful display stands. And then I settled for, you know, a job that I really did like. I still like my job. I love my job. You know, I love what I'm doing, but I just don't love the direction of the company. And I don't just love the, you know, the directorship, which is non-existent. So.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, I got like that with the old bill. You know, I didn't like the leadership that we had from, you know, I'm not talking right up at commissioner level, although, well, actually, I knew the commissioner at that point. She was decent. I like Cressida Dick, but you know, immediate supervisors, you know, at that sort of level, just, I think you get like that, don't you? When you've been somewhere for a while and you see how things change. As things change, and maybe your attitude towards your job and what you're doing in the workplace, that changes. And for me anyway, I started resenting people that I saw responsible for those changes. Whether they were or not, I don't know, but that's where I would focus my resentment. You know, the reason that this is now shit and I'm not enjoying it is because you've brought in these changes, and I don't know if that's right or not. But,
I support what you're saying on that. Yeah, I feel quite the same. It's the Libra. It's a Libra in you see.
Are you a Libra as well?
I am.
Yeah, balance. We like balance, don't we?
Yeah. And my wife's a Libra as well. Laura's a Libra as well.
Oh my God.
Birthday's 3 days after yours.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, I like that question, David. I need to go for a pee. Do you mind if we have a quick natural break?
Yeah, too sharp.
Excellent. We'll see you in a sec, folks.
Shall I do the sponsor readout? Right, folks, we're sponsored by Ultimate Add-ons.
Mate, these will be long gone. We'll have done them a long time ago. We're about 9 hours in.
Am I on pause?
Yeah. Right, let's go and have a quick pee.
2 seconds, Bruce. All right, cool, man.